Okay, welcome to this class where we're going to discuss about nutrition in plants, right? This is standard 7, chapter 1, and here we will be discussing about all the facts and figures that is there, which we are going to discuss over here. Thank you all, friends. Thank you all. Great. You see, what is nutrition? Nutrition means what? Nutrition is the process by which food we get food, the food is being digested, and from food what we get in standard 6 you might have read about the food what we take in our body, that is carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and vitamins, minerals, which are the components that present the food. And these components of food which are very necessary for our body are called nutrients. This is called nutrients. Like we human being, we require, not only human beings, all animals, we require nutrients. Why? To For growth of our body, for repair and maintenance of our body, and for such activities the body requires to survive. Like that, plants also require nutrients, but the nutrients are quite different from our human beings. So that is what we're going to discuss in this chapter, right? So nutrition is the process of taking food by an organism and its full utilization by the body. This is called nutrition basically. Green plants prepare their own food. That's why they're called as producers. But we human beings and all other animals, we don't prepare food. We take food indirectly. Okay. So we directly depend on green plants for our food. Look, this is nutrients. What do you mean by nutrients? Very simple fundamental thing we will discuss here. Certain substances are present in foods that help in survival of the organisms, and these substances are nutrients of, for example, these are called carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamin, then mineral, and then water. Without this, our survival is just next to impossible. Okay. Now, in human being, what is nutrition? The process we have discussed in class 6. Now, in this topic, we are going to discuss about what are the process of nutrition, or the process of nutrition of plants, right? So nutrition can be classified as a process by which organisms take the food and utilize in order to survive. Based on mode of nutrition, organisms can be divided into two types. Okay, two categories. What are they? One is called autotrophs and one is called heterotrophs. What do you mean by autotrophs? Autotroph. Auto means, you see, ask date me, we see automatic machines has come. You see, automatic bike has come. There is no need to put it kickstart. Earlier we had to struggle a lot to kickstart it, and during the time of cold, oh, you just exhaust, and you also call some people, ring some people, you some invite some people to have kickstart so that you can start your bike and scooty. But nowadays it's all in a switch, click, just click and it starts. Auto start. Like autotroph means that which makes its food itself, that's called autotroph. So we all know plants are autotrophs. And how plants prepare the food, it's very basic thing, everyone knows it. Plants make the food by a process that is known as what? Photosynthesis. The process is known as photosynthesis. Basically what they take carbon hydroxide of the environment or atmosphere, water by xylem flowing from earth, and and sunlight and then sunlight comes, right? And these things, okay. So plants, they collect carbon dioxide from the environment, water from earth, and in presence of sunlight they prepare their food, and that process is known as photosynthesis. We all know about this. Okay. So green plants have autotrophic mode of nutrition. We can say green plants have autotrophic mode of nutrition. That means wheat plants are autotrophs, and autotrophs contain a green pigment called chlorophyll, which helps them to make food absorbing energy from sunlight. And most green plants are, you know, uh, producers. Most green plants are producers, and hence synthesize their food. This means that most of the plants autotrophic mode of nutrition, and these plants not only produce food for themselves, they also produce food for other animals also. Like, you will ask, sir, how? You see, mango tree produces food, and that food is stored in the form of, carbohydrate in the fruit, mango fruit. But does the tree take the food? No. It is for others. We people eat it, animals eat it, squirrel eats it, birds eat it. Okay. So look, green plant has a blessing for us. Nature has made it such a good thing that we can't think of it. So green plant prepares food for itself, and also the food is stored sometimes in stem, sometimes it's stored in root, sometimes it is stored in fruit, sometimes it's stored in leaf. Those all things we eat, right? Our body means we animals, other than green plants, don't have the capacity, don't have the necessary instrument, but it's not designed that we can make our fruit itself. So our body does not have the green pigment called chlorophyll, which plants have. That's why we cannot make our food, right? And we cannot observe sunlight also, and we cannot make photosynthesis. That is why we are called heterotrophs. We are called heterotrophs. You see, these are the examples of some green plants, and the green plants are autotrophs by taking sunlight and carbon dioxide, water. In presence of chlorophyll molecules, they make their own food. Okay, now let us go to heterotrophs. What do you mean by heterotrophs? We have already discussed what do you mean by heterotrophs. The opposite of autotrophs are called heterotrophs. Auto, I have told you, auto means self-start. Click. Once click, we start. But heterotrophs means we people accept green plants, all other animals, all living organisms, they're called heterotrophs. Why? Heterotrophs means we cannot prepare food and we have to depend on other, I mean on green plants for food. That's why we are called heterotrophs. That's what called heterotrophs. The basic difference, I have told you that green pigment or the chlorophyll molecule that is present in plant cells, basically plant leaf, plant stem, but in our body, except green plants, in none other animal's skin it is present. So we can't make our food. This is the major difference what nature has made. So always we have to depend on green plants. Now you see heterotroph and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. What is heterotrophic mode of nutrition? You see, this is a cow. We from little baby we say, see for cow. What cow does? Cow eat grass. It's a very common example. Anyone can understand this. A cow always eats grass, right? So what is the grass? Is a green plant. Why? Grass has the capacity that it produces its own food and stores it in the leaf. That nutrition is taken by the animal, that is cow. So that cow can fulfill all its nutrition activities. So this is the basic fundamental thing of heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means we always depend on green plant for our food. Without green plant, we have nothing to eat. We cannot eat without their help. Okay. So sometimes non-green plants which do not have chlorophyll, so they depend on also obtaining their food on the green plants, right? There is, let me give an example to you. One non-green plant is called fungi, okay, such as mushroom. I think you all people might have eaten mushroom. You love mushroom, I think. Mushroom yeast, where yeast comes up, we discussed last class. Suppose you take a piece of bread, okay, a slice of bread you can take, keep it somewhere for 4 to 5 days. Then what happens? The white color of bread changes into somehow in a different color, greenish color. What is that? These are called yeast. Okay, so this yeast, fungi, this mushroom, all the things, what happens? Though they are plants, they can't prepare their own food, so they have to depend on someone for their food. So they are also coming under this heterotrophic nutrition group, right? Besides that, all animals, including human beings, do you know human beings are animals? Do you agree with me? Yes, human beings are animals, but they are called social animal. Why social? We have a society. Look, in the world, only human being is the only species which has converted nature according to its needs. Suppose it's hot, we have converted a room by fitting an air conditioner. No other animal has that privilege. So we must be lucky and we must be thankful to nature because nature has provided the necessary things for us. And we must be thankful to science and technology that due to utilizing that, we can prepare the things according to our wishes and choices. Okay. So all animals are also coming under this heterotrophic nutrition mode because we cannot prepare food due to lack of chlorophyll molecule in our skin. Right. Now, you see, how they prepare food. As I have told you, photosynthesis is the process by which these plants, green plants, prepare their food, right? And uh, where photosynthesis takes place? Basically, at the basic level, at the basic part of our basic part of the plants. In standard 6, you see there is a great difference between animal cell and plant cell, right? In that, what happens in plant cell, chlorophyll molecule is present. Chlorophyll molecule is present. That is the main importance. That's the main thing why plants are able to prepare their food. You see, what is a cell? Now, first of all, we have to understand what a cell does mean. Cell means, you see, this is a hand, this is a body. You see, this is a wall which is behind me. How a wall is made? Obviously, by taking small pieces of bricks, we keep it, we put it joined by cement and sand. Then after that, we make a finishing touch to it, and finally the wall is there. And now it's painted, and we cannot see that the wall is there, which is made by using bricks. Okay, like that, this body is there. We enjoy this body, but what happens? There's different parts, organs of a body, and you know how the organs are made? They're made by very small particles. They're known as cell. They're known as cell. And look, this is a room where I'm sitting. What happens over here? The room is being protected by walls from four sides. Like that, when there is a cell is there, the cell is being protected by four sides. That is called as cell membrane. That is called as cell membrane. Okay, you see, this is a cell. This is a cell. Okay, in this cell, a cell is being protected from all sides by a core boundary, not only exactly a boundary like a wall, but it's a tough substance that is known as cell membrane, right? Okay. Inside the cell, there is one important part that is known as nucleus. That is known as nucleus. And in between the cell membrane and nucleus, some fluid type things which is moving, that is known as cytoplasm. That is known as cytoplasm. I think all of you clear? Great. Now, when what happens in sunlight during daytime, sunlight falls on the leaf. Sunlight falls on the leaf. Now, what happens in leaf? There is chlorophyll molecule. There is chlorophyll molecule, and that chlorophyll molecule takes energy from sunlight, receives carbon dioxide from the what? Receives carbon dioxide from where? From environment, or you can say atmosphere. From environment or atmosphere, it collects that. And look, this is water. Water minerals are being taken by the roots so that it can reach to the leaf. So we have got our four things: carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, water minerals from earth, sunlight by sun, and finally, what is there? Chlorophyll molecule that's present in the leaf. Then starts the process. Then starts the real process. Okay. Then starts our real process. Okay. Now, how do plants prepare their food? As I've told you already, water, carbon dioxide, sunlight, minerals, sunlight, water and minerals that we got it from earth, and in presence of chlorophyll molecules. These are the raw materials that are very essential for photosynthesis. Once plant get all the things, what happens? Okay. Now, leaf is said to be the food factory of plants. Like we have many factories. Suppose this start is there. There is an industry somewhere else. Maybe in India, maybe in the world, somewhere it is there that produces these arts. Suppose I'm using this headphone. There is a factory or there is an industry which prepares it headphones. Suppose I'm using a laptop, you people may be using a mobile phone, something else. For everything, there is a factory or an industry. Like that, leaves of plant are known as food factories. Why? Because food is prepared in leaves only, right? Okay. Different parts of plants like roots gather raw materials in water and transfer them to the leaves. Transfer to the leaves. Then carbon dioxide, it collected from the environment. In presence of chlorophyll molecules, what happens? Leaf prepare the food in presence of sunlight, right? So always during daytime only food is prepared, not in the night time. Okay. So what happens in plant leaves? One part is there. Small pores are there. They're called stomata. They're called small pores. Pores means holes. If you closely observe, even our skin, you can find small pores are there. Very small pores. In leaves also small pores are there, and they are called stomata. And do you know what the activity of stomata? Stomata, the work of stomata is, transfer of air is the main activity of stomata, right? So water and mineral transport to leaves by vessels run like pipes, and then from a continuous path passes nutrients and then reach to the where? Reach to the plants. Okay. Now we discuss about stomata, and the green pigment or the chlorophyll that present is known as chlorophyll, which is present in the plant. In the leaf. It helps to uh, it's the real thing which differentiate from animal cell to the plant cell, and due to presence of chlorophyll molecule only, food can be prepared by plant cells, not by we human beings. Right. Now you see we have got all the instruments or the tools you can say, and we have got all the conditions so that we can prepare, the plant can prepare the food, and simultaneously not only it prepares food, it also gives us oxygen. The most important thing of our life, that is oxygen. Oxygen is being given to us by plant. You see, this is the picture, or we can discuss over here. So carbon dioxide plus water. Carbon dioxide being taken from the air, and water is being taken by the you see root and xylem and phloem and things. Water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll molecules. In presence of sunlight and chlorophyll molecules, what plant prepares? Plant prepares glucose and oxygen is released to air by stomata. That's why I was telling you the importance of stomata. Stomata helps in exchange of air. It takes carbon dioxide through stomata and it releases oxygen to the environment also through stomata only. So can you see how wonderful is it? How nature is it for us? It's really wonderful. Nature has made things so great for us, right? Now, carbon dioxide plus water in presence of light energy chlorophyll molecules prepares carbohydrates plus oxygen. This is all written in the chemical equation. This is the chemical equation, balanced chemical equation. This is the chemical equation, and this is balanced chemical equation. Okay. Now, this is what we have to understand. Now, this is the equation, and this is the balanced equation, right? Now, we can go to further. What happens over here? Really, how it takes place. You see, in plant cell, stomata is there. Opening of stomata, I have told you, is a small space for exchange of air between leaf and environment, or you can say atmosphere. So in leaf, stomata is present in the leaf, and in stomata, look, in leaf also chlorophyll molecules are present. Chlorophyll molecules are present, right? A section of leaf which is there. As a result, when sunlight is being observed by plant and by the leaf, we leaves prepare a what? Food by the process known as photosynthesis. Okay, why is photosynthesis? Can you tell me why is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis because photo means what? Light. Light consists of photons. Light consists of photons. So photo means light in presence of sunlight. That's why it's called photo. Synthesis is the process of preparing food is known as synthesis. So photosynthesis means the process of preparing food by plants in presence of sunlight is known as photosynthesis, nothing else. So without sunlight, food cannot be prepared by what? Plant. Look, we see sometimes some decorative plants are there. If you visit to any hotel, any big buildings, or you can visit to any park, you can see even some big bungalows. You see rich people, they have big bungalows, and they design their park in such a way you love it. Why? Because we have different types of plants there present there, and in the plant you see the different types of flowers, different types of leaves are present. Some plants has leaves like red in color, sometimes has mixed color like this. Some plants are green color. Some these are called the different colors of you know leaves are present. Sometimes are red, sometimes are violet, sometimes brown. These are called pigments. They're called pigments. If this pigment is present, according to the presence of pigment, the color of leaf changes. The color of leaf changes. You see, uh, Other pigments in such leaves marks the green color of chlorophyll. So photosynthesis also takes place in leaves having color other than green. Now you think that there may be a doubt that area there is no chlorophyll present over here. So how can photosynthesis take place in these plants? No. Here chlorophyll is also present, but pigments are more. Pigments are more. That's why pigments means colors, nothing else. You see, when you're going to buy a mobile phone, what do you say? Pixel. Yes, you see this is no wow 20 megapixel like this. You are using one pixel like that. Here pigments are present. Pigments means color particles. Color particles are present. These are known as pigments. So when the color particles of pigments are more, red pigments are more, the color leaf becomes red. When brown pigments are more, the color this leaf becomes brown. So nothing to worry. It can also prepare their own food. They don't depend on others. Photosynthesis takes place because chlorophyll is also present, but the number of pigments is more. That's why we see the color as red. Okay. Now, how photosynthesis takes place by leaf? It's okay. But can you think of those plants where leaf is not present? How can they make? Look, this is cactus plant. This is cactus plant. You know, cactus plant means these are not the leaves. We misunderstood them as leaves, but these are the stems. These are the stems, right? In order to lessen the what the in order to make the waters contaminate, in order to make water less, expenditure of water less, they have converted into like this, and they have made thrones. Thrones are all present here. Basically these plants are present in deserts, not in our terrain. These plants are of terrain. These plants present generally present in wet, mostly in deserts. In deserts, you see there is very lack of water. So with minimum water, they have to survive. That's why this plants has been modified accordingly. But it's also coming to these places, they can also survive here. So here what happens, green pigments are also present in stems. You see there are green stems, not leaves. When it is present in stems, then also they can prepare their food by using these green pigments, and photosynthesis present can be possible here also. There is nothing to worry about this. Okay. Algae, you know, algae, sometimes it is algae. What do you mean by algae? If you go to a pond, if you go to small villages, there are ponds. If the pond is not cleaned for many years, you see this present, these small trees, they're present over there. They're called algae or algae. It's also said like that. Algae or algae, both we can say like that. This is the plural form. The singular form is alga. The singular form is alga, and algae is the plural form. Algae or algae, both are present. Both can we can pronounce like this. What happens over there? If you see in the ponds, a layer of plants, they are coming there. They have grown up there. Layer of plants, they have grown up inside the ponds. And what happens over there? Algae are a large group of simple plant-like organisms. Algae contain chlorophyll and produce food by photosynthesis like other plants. There also you see, they're also green in color. So they prepare their own food like other plants. Algae, however, differ from plants because they don't have proper roots, stems, and leaves. You see, you cannot take it as a permanent tree, because trees have three things: root, stem, and what? Root, stem, and leaf. But here it is not present. They're just floating on water. They're just floating on water. They don't have a permanent root over there. But you see, chlorophyll molecule is present there. That's why they can also prepare their food. And by the process photosynthesis, they make their food. Right? Now, synthesis of plant food other than simple carbohydrate means generally what happens? Glucose is formed. Glucose is formed, but sometimes plants also make starch. Plant also prepare starch. Do you know what is starch? Starch is a food which is stored in various parts of plants such as roots, stem, leaves, and seeds. For example, the seeds of wheat and rice. Okay, wheat and rice we generally eat. This is also a kind of food which is being produced by plant. They have lot of starch in them. They have lot of starch in them. Potato and carrot. You see, they are the roots. They are the roots, but there are also a large amount of starch is present, right? So always it doesn't store food in fruits only. Now plants also make oil seeds, also deposit in oil seeds in the form of fat, right? You see, we obtain oil from plant seeds and some vegetables also. Vegetable oils are also being extracted. Then what happens? Like carbohydrates, glucose, and starch, oils are also made up of small three things. They are called carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Generally, carbohydrates are made of what? Glucose and starch. Exactly. Oil is also made of three things. They are known as carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Right? So this is ultimately called fat. Okay. Have you seen some people who every day eat, prepared food by oily things? They become like this, very fat. You see people like that, and those people have the chances of being uh, prone to heart attack, being prone to many other diseases, right? Plants also make protein. Where is it? Protein, you see pulses. Sometimes you see pulses with dal. We add dal to our food. Then what happens? Protein is stored there. Protein is stored in dal, moong, those kind of things, right? Good. Okay. So always what happens? Vitamins are also present. How? Fruit. We all use fruit. Apple. You all know apple. Little baby A. Apple for A. We started in our standard one and pre-primary schools also. So we all know apple. We know banana. We know pineapple. We know jackfruit. We eat mango. We eat many such fruits. Why we eat those fruits? Because there we get vitamins, and those vitamins are really essential for body to protect us from different diseases. Otherwise, we're going to suffer, right? Okay. Animals usually cannot take vitamins because basically they don't take fruits. Basically, we human beings generally take all the fruit of the nature. Now, why photosynthesis is very important? For two things, photosynthesis is important. Look, first is food, second is oxygen. You see, without food, we may stay for 5 to 10 days, but without oxygen, do you understand? For how much time can you survive? Maybe hardly 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Not possible after that. You can experiment like this, but don't make it for a long period. Without oxygen, we cannot survive at all, right? So photosynthesis is very, very essential. The big question comes, why photosynthesis is important for us? Two things. One is, by photosynthesis, food is produced by plants. And second thing, oxygen is released to the environment, which we take indirectly. Sorry, we take oxygen directly. Okay. This is why photosynthesis is really important for not only human being, for all the animals, all the heterotrophs of the world. If there would be no green plants, there would be no living beings in the on the earth, right? Okay, that is fine. We have discussed about autotrophs, all the plants, what is photosynthesis, what's the importance of photosynthesis, how photosynthesis helps us. Now let us go to some more extent. What is that? Other modes of nutrition in plants. Look, plant prepares its own food. It takes it, it grows, it saves the food for us. It's fine. But what are the other modes of what? Nutrition. That's what we're going to discuss now. Now, sometimes what happens, there are some plants, if you see in a big mango plant, in big banyan plants, there are some plants which are present over there, small plants which are present over there, but they don't prepare their own food. What they do, they penetrate their roots, they penetrate their root inside the big plant and they collect food from there and they grow and they grow. This is called parasitic activities. This is called parasitic activities. Suppose you go to hospital, you are trembling with fever and many such things. A doctor writes for malaria test. In malaria, which what? He says, yes, malaria parasite is present. What do you mean parasite? Parasite means an organism which enters into a body and it takes food from you and it is going to trouble you. It is going to put you in trouble. This is called parasite, right? Okay, let's discuss more about that. What is a parasite? You see, this is a plant which is known as Cuscuta plant. This is known as Cuscuta plant. The plant is what happens, the plant grows around the host plant. This big plant is known as host plant, means which is the real plant. And this Cuscuta plant, this grows around it and puts its roots inside the plant. and collects food from the host plant, and it grow there, and it grow there. In Hindi, it is called Amarbel. In Hindi, it is called, in English, it's called Kuskuta. In Hindi, it is called uh, Amarbel. These plants, basically, you can find in your locality wherever you're staying. You can find many such plants are there. The basic purpose is the plant lives on or inside an organism. What I told, malaria parasite comes into our body, lives inside us, puts in trouble. And this type of plants, Cuscuta plant, they stay on the body of the plant, host plant, and they suck food from there. Is it clear to you now? Good. So this is called parasitic activity. Next comes saprophytic. That's called saprophytic activity or saprophytes. What are they? I have discussed earlier. Mushroom. We all love it. If you go to any restaurant, you say, "Hey, mushroom." Sometimes mushrooms are not good to eat, but there are many good mushrooms. We can eat it, right? This type of nutrition where they don't live on living plants, they grow on dead bodies or dead plants, you can say. You see, these are non-green plants. These plants are non-green, means there is no chlorophyll molecules present over here, but they obtain their food from dead and decaying organic matters called saprophytes. Now clear? In living organisms, they don't go. They go only for dead and decaying organic matters called saprophytes. That's why this is called saprophytic activity. And basically, fungi. This is called fungi. Algae we discussed in ponds, but this is fungi. This is fungi. Fungi such as mushroom, bread mold, and yeast are saprophytes. We've discussed earlier also. On bread slices, if you keep it for 5 to 7 days, you can see yeast is formed over there. Mushrooms, on mushrooms also, this is a fungi. Mushroom is a kind of fungi. They develop on dead plants and dead bodies. Or decay means which is about to get simplified by some bacteria. In those substances, they grow and they take food from those organic substances. That's why this is called saprophytic nutrition. Is it clear? Very good. So we discussed one is photosynthesis, preparing food by themselves. Second thing is parasitic, and third thing is saprophytic. Right? This is what on bread. You see, on bread, fungus grows if you keep it for some days. Okay. Now, another type of nutrition is called insectivorous. What is meant by insectivorous plants? Just divide it. Insectivorous. What do you mean by insect? Insects means small organisms we see. These insects, what happens? Always move and they go attracted towards what? Some good activities, good things. So there are some plants. This is called pitcher plant. This is called pitcher plant. And in this plant, a structure is there where it is like a mug or something, which is like a container, and there's a lid over it. There's a lid over it. If the insect enter into the container, what happens? Now the lid closes. The lid closes. Once the lid closes, it cannot come out. It cannot come out, and it remains inside this container. Once it is inside this, what happens now? The worms are being taken by this plant. This plant lives like this. You see how wonderful? How wonderful. Plants also eat insects. This kind of activity is known as insectivorous plants. This kind of activity known as insectivorous plants. And by this kind of activity, one kind of hunting, you can say, like earlier people go to jungle or forest to hunt like this. This is a kind of indirect hunting, right? By hunting this plant's leaf. This is called insectivorous plant, and this is one type of nutrition. Okay, now, and the type of nutrition that comes is symbiotic plants or symbiotic nutrition. What do you mean by symbiotic? You might have heard about symbiosis. This is called symbiotic. Symbiosis means the plants, what happens, suppose there are two categories of plants, and they live together, two different species, they live together as if the parts of the same plant and help each other in obtaining food is called symbiosis. Very important. Symbiosis means two different categories of species of plants, they come together, live as a part of the same plant and help each other each other to obtain food. And this process is known as symbiosis, right? This process is known as symbiosis. And basically lichens. Here we go lichens. Lichens are this category. Lichen falls into this category. Okay. In green color plant called alga, in green plant called alga, and non-green plant fungus and non-green plant fungus. They live together. You see who? This is fungus and this is alga, right? Look, the below part is fungus, which is non-green, and alga is present at the top. As if a cap, we use a hat or cap sometimes like this. The fungus are non-green, alga are green plants. So they stick to each other and they stay as if a single plant, as if a single plant. Now what happens? Food is being produced by alga. It is being taken by fungus. Okay, being taken by fungus, and simultaneously it gives support to alga. It gives all support to alga. Like fungus attracts water minerals from the soil, gives to alga. Alga has chlorophyll molecule. It collects air, carbon dioxide from atmosphere. In the presence of sunlight, it prepares food. You see, how is it? I remember a story, I think it was long back I had read about a blind and a lamb. Blind man had his leg and hands, but he had no eyes. But a lame man had eyes, but he had no leg. Now, every people ran away to have a festival, to give a watch, to just see a festival. Everyone ran away. Now, these two people were left, this blind and this lame. Now, they thought of a plan. Hey, the blind says, I can't see, but you can see. Lamb says, yes, yes, I can't walk, but you can walk. Now, what happens? Now, the blind says, come upon my shoulder, show me the route. I can take you to the destination. Oh, it's so wonderful. The lamb came upon the shoulder of the blind. The blind walked, and the lamb showed the route. When both went to the fair, to the festival, they enjoyed a lot, and they can come back to their own destination. This is like this. Symbiosis is like this. Now, getting? This is all. The fungus had no green pigments, but alga is present and having chlorophyll molecule. Now, lichen collects water minerals from the soil and gives it to alga. Now, alga prepares the food by presence of chlorophyll molecules collecting carbon dioxide in presence of sunlight, and it also gives to fungus for its survival. This is known as symbiotic plants. Now, is clear? This kind of relation is very important. And my dear friends, this is really important for ourselves also, in our life also. Suppose you go to a new place, you cannot live alone. You need someone because always you cannot live alone. So this kind of activity is very important. But before choosing your friend, be careful. Otherwise, you're going to suffer a lot. Okay, you got the meaning of this. Now you can read this clearly and you can understand. Okay. Now, how nutrients are replenished in soil? Means, you see, minerals and nutrients and potassium, phosphorus, these are present in soil. But how plants can take it? How plants can take it? There are many ways. Basically, by the following steps, they're being observed by the plants. They're being observed by the plants, and these are used by the plants as nutrients. They're used by the plants as nutrients. Look. Sometimes what happens, plant requires basically three things. What are they? That is nitrogen, N, phosphorus, P, and potassium, K. That's why you see NPK. We generally say NPK fertilizer. Basically, plant requirement is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, right? We, by using tractors or by using, local bullock used plow, we make the what? Make the soil which is suited for plowing, by plowing, and then which make it fit for agriculture, right? But if you see the fertilizer is not sufficient. Fertilizer, natural fertilizer which is present in soil is not sufficient. What we put? What? Chemicals. That is known as NPK fertilizers, basically nitrogen, phosphorus, and sodium. So that, and sometimes urea is also used to provide nitrogen. Urea is being provided in the soil to give nitrogen support to soil. Then by using this, plants grow by using this plants grow. And the crop plants grow in the fields require nitrogen maximum to take the proteins, to make proteins. So we get pulses, dal, all the things which is rich in nutrition, rich in proteins. They require much nitrogen. They require much nitrogen. So according to the crop, we distribute what? Fertilizer. We distribute fertilizer. Now it is clear to you. Now, second thing is that one way to make the soil fertile again is to add nitrogen containing fertilizers. Another way is to grow leguminous crops in the soil. So in two ways we can make the soil rich in nitrogen. One is we throw or we put nitrogen fertilizers, or by also put leguminous crops in soil. What do you mean by leguminous crop? Let us discuss about that. Chana, I think you might have heard about chana, moong, okay, peas, इसमें मटर बोलते हैं उसको, peas को मटर, pulses को मूंग, and chana बोलते हैं ना, gram या chana. These things, what happens if we do agriculture, put these plants in soil? You see the picture. If you plant, what happens when bacteria? The name of the bacteria is rhizobium. There is a bacteria known as rhizobium. This is the root of these plants, and in the root, this bacteria is present. The rhizobium bacteria is present over there. And what the duty of this rhizobium bacteria? This bacteria collect nitrogen from the environment. Collect nitrogen from the environment, and it what happens? And the rhizobium mix it with soil in the field to enrich it. Look, the soil is not rich in nitrogen, but the duty of this bacteria is, the role of this bacteria is to collect nitrogen from the soil and mix it in the soil so that plants can easily receive it. Plants can easily receive it, right? And once the plants receive it, we can get it. We can get the products like dal, gram, everything. It's okay, good. So there is no need to put much nitrogen in the field. Okay. Okay, this is what the leguminous plants help us to increase nitrogen content in the soil, right? Right. Then, as I have told you, what is cell? We have discussed it earlier. Cells are the bricks of the wall, exactly. Basically, all living organisms are there present, and we all have cells. So the tiniest part is known as cell, and it is known as the unit for life. Without cell determines how our function is, how our body moves up, how our body reacts. These are all the things. And there are also the building block of plants and animals. So we will see what is the difference between cells that is present in animal cell and what is present in plant cell. Look, this is the real picture of plant cell and animal cell. I hope you can understand. You see it properly and clearly. I have produced cell membrane. You see cell membrane present here. This is an animal cell and this is a plant cell. This is an animal cell. This is a plant cell. Here, what you can see is here. You see, this is plant cell. In this plant cell, one thing is present outside, like walls are present in the room. Exactly here it is present, and that is known as cell membrane. This is known as cell membrane. Okay. And inside this cell, the most important component that's present is nucleus. That is nucleus. Okay. So nucleus is very important inside a cell, and the boundary of cell is known as cell membrane. Okay. Now between these two, something is present that is known as cytoplasm. A fluid-like structure that is present. This is known as cytoplasm. Okay. Besides this, something else there. They look in a floating state. They stay in a floating state. What are they? One is mitochondria. One is known as mitochondria. And second is known as vacuole. So known as vacuole. This is bubble type of thing. Bubble type thing. This is known as vacuole. And this is very small in size in animal cell. Right? So are you sure? One thing that is cell membrane means the cell boundary is present in animal cell. Nucleus is present in the center, basically generally the center. Between these two, cytoplasm is present, fluid-like structure. And in cytoplasm, what are in the floating state? One is mitochondria and there is vacuole. Small vacuoles that are present over there. Good. Now let us go to plant cell. What's present in plant cell? Same thing is present, but here you see the plant to boundary that is quite different. You see, you take our skin, you make it. How do you feel it? Oh, it is very soft. Of course, our people are not like. If you think of small babies, it's very soft. Even our cell is our, this flesh is soft. But can you think of a plant? It's hard. It gives a definite shape to plant. That's why it must be strong. Yes or no? That's why here instead of cell membrane, cell wall is present over here. What is that? Cell wall is present. And inside of the cell wall, cell membrane is present. It means cell membrane is present, but cell membrane is again covered by cell wall. Just like this room has walls, like that, cell membrane is being covered by cell wall, which gives strength to the cells of plants. Right? Good. Then cytoplasm, as usual. Nucleus is also present. Okay. Then you see chloroplast is present. The most important thing which is really helping plants to prepare the food that's present in cell, that is chloroplast. That is known as chloroplast. Okay. That is known as chloroplast. That is present over there. And besides that, mitochondria is present. It is present also in plant cell, animal cell, present in plant cell. Next, vacuole. What do you mean by vacuole? I've told you, vacuole is bubble like thing. Bubble means, देखा ना balloon type of thing. जिसके अंदर air होता है, like that. It is very large in size. You see, here it is very small in size in animal cell, but in plant cell it is very very big in size. Right. So this is what the basic difference between animal cell and plant cell. What is extra present in plant cell? The vacuole are very big in size, which is less small in size in animal cell. And here, cell membrane is present, but upon cell membrane, one thing is also present, that is cell wall. A thickest cell wall is present, which gives strength and size to the cell of plant. And third thing, chloroplast. The most important thing that is present is chloroplast. Clear? I hope it is clear to you, friends. Good. So this is all about what? About this cytoplasm, this what I've told you, that cell wall, cell membrane, nucleus, and what's present inside this. I think you can read it for better clarity. Okay, this is also same thing what is written over about to discuss. So this is all about what our chapter, that is nutrition in plants. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have learned it. And if you have doubts, you can ask me. And this is what is mentioned. And I hope it will be a great experience for everyone. Thank you all.